Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we are talking about the record cold temperatures from Midwest to Deep South. A few of those falling again this morning, but there is a warm up on the way. In the midst of all that snow, though, that was coming over the lee of the lakes, we had a fatal accident on Interstate 80, shut it down for 10 hours. So we'll get into what's happening now and again when that warm up comes in. Also, we're following the latest developments from the Middle East. Some people, including Americans, finally able to leave Gaza as Israeli troops push further into the region. And you'll see those stories and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
KSAT and our community partners want to remind you to roll up your sleeves and get your flu shot. There's one more chance for you to get a free vaccine courtesy of Bexar County and University Health. It's this Saturday, November 4th from 8 a.m. to noon. If you want to register, head to ksatcommunity.com. Well, coming up in our next hour of GMSA, Rangers fans celebrating the team's first World Series title. We've got reaction from players during last night's celebrations. Plus, it's only the start of November, but a group in San Antonio spent the hot summer months getting ready for winter. We'll take you inside the warehouse where Christmas never ends. And checking TransGuide right now, looking at 35 in Judson and 151 at 410, 1604 at Braun Road. Your Thursday morning commute is underway, and we'll be back.
President Biden signaling support for a pause of the Israel-Hamas conflict to allow hostages to be released from Gaza. I'm ABC's Justin Fitch with what prompted those remarks as more Americans wait to flee Gaza.
Back here at home, San Antonio police had their hands full after a wild night on the roads. What we've been able to learn about a deadly hit and run on the city's north side.
And let's look out there with a live cam. Good news for those of you who like the cold weather. We're starting off at 45 degrees and later on it's looking like a nice day.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. Rise and shine at 6 o'clock on your Thursday, November 2nd.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good week so far. It's been a nice weather week, especially in the afternoons.
It has. It's nice to have the GMSA family back together. We'll talk to Stephen in just a second. And there's Mike Osterhage.
Yes, indeed.
What's going on, Whiskers?
No Shape November, of course. We would love if you could, don't you?
No, not bad.
It's okay, so it hasn't started itching yet. Anyway, it is chilly out there again this morning. It is going to be another fantastic afternoon. Tomorrow's going to be pretty nice as well. Enjoy the next couple of days because it's not going to stick around forever. We're going to see some fairly significant changes coming in here by late in the weekend. More on that in a moment. First of all, let me go back to this picture, and you can maybe see in this view some of the clouds that are hanging around here. This is what it looks like on the satellite picture. As this loops on through, you can see this just barely visible darker shade right here. That's just some of these low mid-level clouds that have moved on in. So what that's doing is acting like a bit of a blanket. So with temperatures now 30s, 40s, we've actually been holding steady or even going up a couple of notches. We actually went up again here in town to 46, 42 Helotes, 36 in Comfort. You were down to 34 earlier this morning. So again, this kind of holds what little heat there is in. Still jacket weather out there. We do have mold on the low side, and throughout the rest of today, we are going to see temperatures, again, pretty steady out there, fluctuating a degree or two, but not dropping down significantly from where they are right now. And then we make it up through the 50s later on this morning. More sunshine around here, and 60 at noon. Then we're going to top off at 67. We hit 63 yesterday. Normal high temperatures, mid 70s. So we're going to be on average 5-10 degrees below normal. No complaints. Closer to normal readings tomorrow. And then, we got a big warm up and humidity coming back into the picture. We'll tell you when that occurs coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, anything big going on out there, sir?
You know, Mike, I'm taking a look outside right here on our TechSide website, actually. It does look like a crash may have popped up off of Loop 1604, close to the southwest side. I'll take a closer look and talk to our friends at TransGuide to see if we have an image out there. But right now, a lot of these images on TransGuide are showing a pretty smooth commute for a lot of folks that are waking up this early in the morning and have to head out on the door, out the door and out on the roads. But let's get a look at the map. Map not showing a whole lot out there, but we're going to see it get a little bit more red minute by minute as we get closer to morning rush. No need to rush if you're heading into San Antonio. Quick look at these travel times. The journey from Boerne along I-10 eastbound should still be about 22 minutes at this hour. Right now, 281 southbound. If you are heading in from Bulverde, it's a 25-minute commute. And it's 25 minutes as well for I-35 southbound if you are heading in from New Braunfels. But again, I'm going to talk to our friends at TransGuide about that crash that popped up off of Loop 1604. But again, the TransGuide cameras just showing traffic picking up a little bit. But we'll take a closer look and I'll have more updates for you throughout the morning. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. This morning, 2 men are in a lot of trouble and probably in a lot of pain after leading police on a chase overnight, then crashing.
Katrina Weber is live on Jackson Keller Road near San Pedro Avenue at the scene of the crash. And Katrina, how much damage was done there?
Well, quite a lot, Stephanie. We have, first of all, a utility pole that was cut in two. CPS Energy crews here now trying to repair that. Then beyond that, a parking lot that is just a mess. That's where the suspect's car crashed, rolling over and hitting several cars that were in the lot of this auto repair shop. Police just got their first look inside the suspect's car, which is on the back of that tow truck there, and they pulled out what looked like either a high-powered rifle or maybe even a machine gun. So that could explain how and why this all started. Let me give you a look at the video. Going back to about 2 o'clock this morning, Castle Hills police first noticed this car in their city. They say it ran a stop sign. They tried to stop the driver, but he kept going. And when he reached speeds of about 80 miles per hour on city streets, they called off their chase. A few minutes later, San Antonio police got the call about this crash. They say they found 2 men outside the car on the ground with injuries and in a pool of blood. One had a head injury, one had a leg injury. Both of them rushed to a hospital. Police say that this car crashed through that utility pole, shearing it right into the top, still dangling from the wires, and then that car rolled over onto those parked cars, and getting lodged between the cars and a chain link fence. And again, police just now getting a chance. We had to have a tow truck come in, move some of the parked cars so they could get to the suspect's car, and then remove it. And again, police just searched there, finding what looks like a high-powered weapon inside that car. They're still trying to sort it out, hoping to talk to those 2 men in the hospital and find out more about the reason that they ran in the first place. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Also new this morning, San Antonio police are investigating a deadly hit and run on the city's north side. Information is extremely limited, but here's what we know so far. Happened around 9 o'clock last night on 1604 near Blanco Road. A man was hit and killed by a vehicle, but so far there's no description of that vehicle or the identity of the man who was killed.
San Antonio police also tell us that 4 people were thrown from their vehicle in a separate crash overnight. This one happened just after 1 a.m. in the area of Loop 1604 and Braun Road. This is on the city's west side. Police tell us that 2 men and 2 women were taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police also say that the car ended up hitting a light pole. So far, there's no details on what caused this crash.
A South San Antonio ISD trustee is in hot water accused of disrupting a meeting and evading arrest. According to an arrest affidavit, Abel Martinez was taken into custody after police say he harassed the school board president while trying to go into an executive session earlier this week. The meeting was cut short, but Martinez was escorted out of the room and later arrested. Martinez is a school board trustee for District 5. Turning now to the Middle East and escalating tensions in the Israel-Hamas war.
President Biden says he supports a pause to allow for the release of Hamas-held hostages.
As ABC's Justin Finch reports, Israel and Hamas are expanding attacks as tensions increase across the region.
At a fundraising event in Minneapolis, a heckler confronting President Biden about the Israel-Hamas war.
Oh my God. If you care about Jewish people, as a rabbi, I need you to call for a ceasefire right now.
The left-wing group Jewish Voice for Peace posting this video capturing part of the exchange on social media. The president responding, saying, "I think a pause is needed for what he says could give more time to get more than 200 civilian hostages taken by Hamas out of Gaza." In Gaza, for the second time in as many days, Israel launching airstrikes at the heavily populated Jabalia refugee camp. The Israeli military releasing video it says shows their troops making headway towards the Gaza City gates. But hundreds of Americans and their families are still trapped in Gaza. The president insisting the U.S. isn't giving up.
Working nonstop to get Americans out of Gaza as soon and as safely as possible.
Those Americans can't leave through the Rafah crossing unless their names are on a list approved by the Hamas-led Customs Department. The U.S. urging those Americans to check those lists daily. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
8 minutes past the hour, 45 degrees.
After the break, the Spurs are back in action tonight out in the desert for a rematch with the Phoenix Suns. What coach Greg Popovich told rookie Victor Wembanyama after his first NBA road win on Tuesday.
Outside with Lycam, another chilly start. Maybe not quite as cold as yesterday morning, but it's cold for sure. You're watching GMSA. We'll be right back. 6:12 in your morning headlines. A murder trial underway up in Austin for the woman accused in the May 2022 killing of 25-year-old cyclist Anna Mariah Wilson. 35-year-old Caitlin Armstrong has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in Wilson's deadly shooting, which prosecutors say was fueled by romantic jealousy. Armstrong also faces a federal charge of unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. She went to Costa Rica right after Wilson's death and was missing for more than 40 days. She was eventually arrested in Costa Rica and was extradited to the U.S. in July 2022 to face charges.
Legendary college basketball coach Bobby Knight is being remembered as a one-of-a-kind. He passed away yesterday at the age of 83 at his Indiana home. Knight became a household name while coaching the Indiana Hoosiers, stirring up plenty of controversy. He won 3 national titles at Indiana, and his news conferences were often front-page news. His most infamous incident happened back in 1985 when he famously threw a chair across the court. Knight went on to Texas Tech before retiring and had this to say about his critics.
When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my
Knight was hospitalized with an illness back in April and was in poor health when he died.
Looking ahead to Thanksgiving, the price of turkeys is down. How about some good news for a change? According to Wells Fargo's Thanksgiving food report, 10 to 15-pound gobblers are down 29% from last year. It's because farmers raised more birds this year to meet Thanksgiving demand, and the price of refrigerated trucking used to transport turkeys is also down.
And before we go to break, the Collins Dictionary has released its 2023 Word of the Year. The winner is AI, as in artificial intelligence. Collins defines the term that the modeling of human mental functions by computer programs. Stories about AI have dominated the headlines as the technology rapidly developed this year.
Call a timeout to advance it.
Oh, Johnson takes it from him. Johnson hangs. Yes! And the Spurs have the lead.
This morning in sports, Spurs fans still basking in the glow of Keldon Johnson's steal and game-winning basket from Tuesday night's game in Phoenix. The last-second play helped the Spurs beat the Suns and get their first road win of this season. Johnson finished with a team-high 27, and rookie phenom Victor Wembanyama was right behind him with 18 points. After the game, Wemby shared with us the message he got from Pop on what to do when you win.
Pop always tells us humble in victory, but celebrate it and enjoy it. So to me, every win is it's crazy for me. You know, I mean, it's obviously it's the NBA, and I'm new here, but every win, as small as it is, it's I feel great, and I want to celebrate it. So yeah, every time, especially this win, this big time win, and before that was our first ever win. So yeah, every win is big so far.
All right, so looking ahead, the road trip continues for the Spurs. They'll take on the Suns again tonight at 9 o'clock. Then they'll come back home this Sunday to host the Toronto Raptors, 2:30 p.m. at Frostbank Center.
Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go.
Time now 6:15 and flashing lights out there at Loop 1604. Let's check back with Steven Cavazos.
This is that crash I was talking about a little bit earlier, guys. There again, 1604 southbound as you approach Meadow Creek. You're going to see those flashing lights. We do at least have one of those lanes that's blocked in what appears to also be the entrance ramp. Very tough to see how many vehicles may be involved or if paramedics have arrived to the scene. But let's hope everyone is doing okay. Traffic does look like it's down to one lane, but not so much of a delay for anyone out there, at least just yet. We're going to keep a close eye on that spot throughout the morning, but behind me, still pretty quiet. Saw a vehicle popped up off of 1604 near I-35 in Live Oak, but again, it's not really causing any problems. Just check those vehicles before you head out on the roads. Don't forget, utility work will continue here along State Highway 151 over on the west side of San Antonio. Wraps tomorrow, but this starts at 9 in the morning and finishes at 3 in the afternoon. We'll see a single lane closure on the frontage road in both directions right there at Hunt Lane. But you can head over to our website, ksat.com/traffic. There's that handy QR code. It takes you directly to that page. I've updated the list of closures on our website, but right now I would say just pack some patience and make sure to move over or slow down where you see those flashing lights. We'll keep a close eye on that crash along Loop 1604.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody warm up the car the past couple of mornings?
Yeah, yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, you might want to
today
this
as well.
morning. It's not quite as cool, but grab a jacket, obviously. Temperatures, about steady where they are right now, fluctuate a degree or two here or there, and then later on this afternoon, 67 for a high temperature. So we are going to be still almost 10 degrees below normal, kind of on average around the area. Everybody loved the sunshine yesterday.
Aw. Even this praying
including the praying mantis, yes. They are odd-looking little creatures, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. I'm glad that was a photo and not up close. Anyway, we do have a few clouds hanging around here. You can sort of see them in this picture, and that's acting like a bit of a blanket. And that's why temperatures in some cases have actually gone up a little bit in the past couple of hours. Case in point here at the airport, we were down to 44 a few hours ago. It was 34 at one point in Comfort and 40 right now in Bandera. And there's no wind to speak of, and we do still have very dry air, but we don't have the third ingredient, the clear skies out there, and so that's why we're not getting as cold as what we could have gotten this morning. Yesterday, 64 high temperature, 65 in Hondo, Gonzales at 63, and then add a few notches to that, even a couple of 70s down here to the south. And like I said, on average, these numbers are going to be 5-10 degrees below normal, which is mid-70s this time of year. Also, take note around the country. Now, obviously, it's still cold out there, but not as many freezing temperatures as what we had yesterday. So a lot of the really cold air is kind of pushing its way back up there into Canada, and we don't really have the wind chills to deal with as well. The reason for that is instead of having this big, massive cold air dipping down like it had been doing, it is starting to retreat somewhat, and the upper level steering wind, so the jet stream, if you will, starting to flatten out somewhat up there. There are a couple little kinks here and there, but for the most part, it's moving along the northern tier of the United States. And so what that means for us is that's allowing the warmer air to come back on in here. So Saturday at a little bit above normal, Sunday get back up into the 80s, and that's going to be the case going into next week with this zonal air pattern, these lines going straight just about west to east. There may be a bit of a front trying to move through here late next week with some of this colder air trying to push down here a little bit, but until then we are definitely going to be staying on the warm side, plus the humidity is going to be coming back into the picture as we go into next week. So again, today 67 degrees, about 10 on average below normal, closer to normal tomorrow, and both the low as well as the high temperature. And then Saturday, a few more clouds hanging around here as well tomorrow. 78 degrees, so just a few degrees above where it should be. Still a nice day. Then we start to see more humidity around here. That's going to hold low temperatures almost 10 degrees above normal by Sunday morning. We get up to 80, and then look what happens going into next week. Now, we will have a few extra clouds hanging around here on Monday, but then mid-80s, 10 above normal by Tuesday, Wednesday. Those low temperatures are going to be almost 15 above normal, more humidity. Notice how my voice changes.
I know.
Like that.
You seem so disappointed.
So is it worse that we had such nice weather and then it's back to the humidity, or would it have been worse to not have that stretch of nice weather?
What do you think, Steph?
No, I'm glad we had it. I mean, it's a little something for everybody. Trick-or-treating was wonderful.
There you go.
Perfect.
It all worked out.
And I mean, lived here long enough to know that when you get those little cold stretches, they don't last forever.
That is also true. All right, thank you, Mike. 621, 45 degrees.
And just ahead, we told you yesterday that DoorDash is adding a warning to its app, telling customers that not tipping may mean longer delivery times. What you need to look out for in your GMA First Look.
building a better postal service for more on-time deliveries and easier, affordable ways to ship so you can deliver even more holiday joy. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Liquid IV powdered hydration, now it's sugar-free. Scientifically formulated to deliver 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. Packed with flavor and 0 artificial sweeteners. Liquid IV, now it's sugar-free.
To give your teeth a dentist clean feeling, start with a round brush head, add power, and you've got Oral-B. Round cleans better by surrounding each tooth to remove 100% more plaque for a superior clean. Oral-B, brush like a pro.
In this morning's GMA First Look, tipping wars.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say it's a nice house for a $5 tip.
You're welcome.
Tip fatigue growing as tipping prompts are popping up all over the place. DoorDash testing a new program to encourage more tipping of their delivery drivers.
I think DoorDash should pay their drivers more and meet their customers, the clientele in the middle.
DoorDash says while the vast majority of customers do leave a tip, offers that don't include a tip can be seen as less desirable. This impacts our entire community, leading to longer wait times for customers, orders sitting longer at merchants, and less value for Dashers. And we'll have much more on this escalating tipping debate coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
Any morning consumer headlines. Apple Watch is finding new ways to help people track their health. The Apple Watch coming out next year will reportedly detect when a user's blood pressure is too high. Bloomberg says it also is expected to detect sleep apnea, and Apple is working on a paid health coaching service.
LinkedIn's premium subscribers can look forward to something new. A built-in job coach will be using artificial intelligence and other data to help users find, research, and apply for new positions. For now, the feature is only launching to a limited set of LinkedIn premium users.
And there's a new plan by Netflix to reward people who binge watch. People who signed up for the ad-supported plan are getting a break. The new policy says if you binge 3 episodes in a row, you get the next one ad-free. So happy binging.
Time now, 6:26 and 45 degrees for now.
If you're headed out the door at 6:30, you have about 4 minutes. And we have flashing lights at 1604 and Medio Creek. Flares are out as well. We'll get you up to speed on what's going on out there and the rest of the Alamo City's roads when we come back.
This morning on GMSA, 2 men are in the hospital after trying to run from police in Castle Hills. Why a crash is now the least of their problems. Plus,
it's happened! The Texas Rangers win the World Series!
The seemingly impossible has happened, and now Rangers fans are soaking up their team's first World Series title. We've got reaction from players during last night's celebrations in Phoenix.
And Rise and Shine looking out there with a live cam. It's 6:30 right now, and it's 45 degrees, still chilly. Not as chilly as yesterday, but still cold.
Good morning, everybody. It is 6:30 on your Thursday, November 2nd.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a wonderful week, and we hope you're enjoying this nice weather because things might change a little bit.
This is a little too cool for some folks, so just hang in there a few more days, right?
No.
No, some folks.
Not some
Mike.
folks. Yes, there's a taller meteorologist in the newsroom that's not a big fan of this. Anyway, things are definitely going to be changing. We do have a few clouds right now. That's the biggest difference compared to yesterday. And so that's acting like a bit of a blanket out there. And actually, temperatures have gone up a couple of degrees in the past few hours. 46, still very dry air and no wind, but you need that third ingredient, completely clear skies. And so we don't have that. You need that third ingredient to get perfect radiational cooling, and that's why we're not going to get as cold as what we could get. 36 Boerne Stage, same thing, Comfort. Temperature has actually gone up a couple of notches as well in Comfort over the past few hours. 50 right now in Castroville, but even though we have gone up a few degrees, we're still averaging 10 degrees below normal right now, and that's going to be the situation with the high later on today as well. Mold's on the low side. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour or so. So a few clouds hanging around here. Definitely chilly this morning, mostly sunny. Upper 60s later on today, and tomorrow we will have we'll keep a few more clouds in the afternoon and closer to normal temperatures. Then we get into the weekend, and it is going to be hotter. We'll be a few degrees above normal in the upper 70s on Saturday, low 80s Sunday, and that continues the trend to add a few more degrees each and every day. So we're going to end up being about 10 above normal by next week, and kind of add insult to injury, in my opinion, increasing humidity as well next week. You may like the warmer, humid weather, but you'll definitely like the forecast going into next week. Details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority been pretty quiet at this point. Still the case?
Yeah, it was the case earlier. We had an issue that popped up, Mike, right here at 1604 at Meadow Creek. There were flashing lights out there, folks. A crash that was reported by TxDOT earlier in the morning, but looks like that's already cleared out. So your drive shouldn't be too bad if you have to head out the door in the next few minutes. But let's take a look, because that crash was slowing folks down for a little bit there along 1604 southbound. We did at least have 3 lanes blocked as you approached Petrenko Road, and that included the entrance ramp. But again, that is cleared out, so it must not have been that serious of a crash, but we always hope everyone else is doing okay out there. As we get a wider view of our map, we're going to see that nasty congestion build up, and it's always that spot that we see along 90 eastbound as you approach Loop 1604. We also have a few stalled vehicles that have been reported along I-35 close to Loop 1604, as you can see it right behind me. Check those vehicles before you get going this morning, but thankfully right here at 1604 at Medio, those flashing lights have disappeared and traffic is getting moving. Guys.
Thank you, Stephen. San Antonio police have made a surprising discovery inside a crashed car.
That's right. They recovered what appeared to be a high-powered weapon. Katrina Weber is live on Jackson Keller Road near San Pedro Avenue.
And Katrina, you've been talking all morning about how this all started with 2 men trying to run from police.
Well, that's right. It actually started over in Castle Hills, ended here with a crash. Police from Castle Hills told us they tried to stop the car after it ran a stop sign. It took off. It's traveling at speeds of about 80 miles per hour. Police actually had to back off the chase. And then a few minutes later, this is what they found. This scene here with the car crashed in that parking lot and knocking down or shearing in half a utility pole. Let me give you a look at the video from earlier this morning. Now, this started about 2 o'clock this morning. Again in Castle Hills. Police there backed off the chase because of the high speeds, and they say the next thing they knew, they heard that SAPD had found this car, the same car, crashed in this parking lot on Jackson Keller near San Pedro. The car went through a utility pole, rolled over and hit several cars that were in the parking lot of a car repair shop, and then 2 men inside that car were injured. They were rushed to a hospital with critical injuries. Police say that they weren't sure why the 2 men ran in the first place, but just about a half hour ago, we saw San Antonio police searching through their car. They finally got a chance to look inside, and they pulled out what looked like either a high-powered rifle or maybe even a machine gun, as well as some other items that were in the car. So that could answer some of the questions, but police say that they're still investigating, hoping to talk to those 2 men who are in the hospital with injuries about why they ran from officers in Castle Hills in the first place. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. San Antonio police are still searching for the suspect involved in a shooting at North Star Mall. This happened around 8 p.m. on Tuesday night inside the Macy's store. A security guard was shot in the leg while trying to stop 2 suspected shoplifters. This is the 3rd shooting at the mall this year. A spokeswoman for the parent company that owns North Star Mall tells us that all 3 incidents were isolated, and the company is reviewing and evaluating mall security. Meanwhile, Macy's has issued a statement saying in part, quote, "We are saddened about the incident that took place at Macy's North Star Mall in San Antonio. The safety of our customers and all our colleagues is top priority. We are working closely with the local police department on this investigation," end quote.
Dog attacks have been on the rise here in San Antonio, and in some cases, they've been deadly. Animal Care Services responded more than 30 dog attacks in their last fiscal year, which ended in September. Every dog involved in those attacks was off its owner's property when they attacked people. An ACS dog trainer told us they want dog owners to take more responsibility to keep these attacks from happening.
Even if we have our animal in a backyard, it is imperative that we are watching them while they're in the backyard, so that way there's no holes in the fence they escape from, they can't jump over the fence. And when we are seeing that reactive behavior, we can remove our dog from that potentially scary situation and give them comfort somewhere else.
ACS says it's important for owners to learn about their dog's body language and behavior. For more suggestions, just click on this story on KSAT.com.
And right now on KSAT.com, the city of San Antonio gets a cut of CPS Energy's revenue every year. And for the last 2 years, the city's gotten a lot more than they were expecting. So now council members are divided on what to do with that surplus. You can read right now on city council members what they're saying about it on KSAT.com.
You still have time to vote early in the November 7th election. Voters will see 14 propositions on the ballot that will either change or create state funding. There's also local races to decide on, depending on precinct. To see the full list of voting locations and check out a sample ballot, scan the QR code on your screen. Early voting ends tomorrow, November 3rd.
And KSAT and our community partners want to remind you to roll up your sleeves and get your flu shot. There is one more chance for you to get a free vaccine that is courtesy of Bexar County and University Health. That's happening this Saturday on November 4th from 8 a.m. to noon. If you want to register, just head over to ksatcommunity.com.
A San Antonio company hard at work shipping holiday cheer across the nation and Canada, all thanks to their elves. KSAT was invited to the Seasonscapes warehouse on Reindeer Trail, where the magic begins as early as the summer. Over 600 Christmas trees and thousands of garland wreaths have been made to order and shipped. It's not even the holiday season yet. Vice President Carolyn Poehler can't mention any names, but she says their trees have ended up in Hallmark movies, in famous hotels, even inside some famous people's homes.
We developed a system where we could decorate the greenery, put it into large storage boxes, then it's wheeled into the client and you take the tree out of the box fully decorated, spend a few minutes shaping it, and you can walk away.
Now, we asked her what is trending this season. She says monochromatic Christmas trees are still hot with a pop of color. You can follow her social media for inspiration. Just head to ksat.com for the story.
And multiple organizations are also coming together to help raise money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. The San Antonio Professional Firefighters Association and the San Antonio Fire Department are looking to fill the boot to raise money for the MDA. Now through Friday, firefighters will be out on the streets of San Antonio asking motorists and people out walking to donate by filling a boot with cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Corey Seager, the MVP.
There you have it, folks. Texas Rangers accepting a World Series trophy after their victory over the Diamondbacks last night. Texas shortstop Corey Seager is the World Series MVP. Not to be outdone, Nathan Eovaldi pitched 6 gutsy innings, and Mitch Garver broke a scoreless tie with an RBI single in the 7th. It all contributed to the Rangers being champions for the first time ever in Major League Baseball. Marcus Semien homered late, and the Rangers, who held hitless for 6 innings, finished with a record 11-0 on the road this postseason by capping an all-wildcard World Series with 3 straight wins in the desert. In his first season with Texas, manager Bruce Bochy won his 4th title 13 years to the day after his first, which came in 2010 when the Giants beat the Rangers.
It's special. I'm not going to lie, it's special to come here in my first year, with the team that was determined to play winning baseball and never won a championship. But as far as me, that's a byproduct of what those guys did out there and what the front office did. I was along for the ride, trust me.
It truly is incredible. But it's not just me, man. What this team did and how we competed and all the guys in there rallying, we don't really have one leader. That whole clubhouse is a leadership. They're all professionals in there, and we all knew we had a job and a task at hand, and we competed and we did it. It's pretty cool.
You can bet there'll be a lot more celebrating up in Arlington today. We'll continue to cover this story all day here on KSAT 12. And Steph, I was looking on Facebook, Northeast ISD here in San Antonio posted World Series champs. Join us in congratulating MacArthur High School and Texas Ranger third baseman Josh Young and the entire Young family.
Very cool. Congratulations.
I've shared that post to my KSAT Mark Austin Facebook page. 641, 45 degrees.
And just ahead, you may have heard of cyberbullying, but what about chroming? We're going to tell you what it is and how you can protect your child from this dangerous online challenge.
Welcome back. Just about 6:45. You may have heard of online trends and cyberbullying, but what about something called chroming?
Alexa Lorenzo tells us what it is and how you can protect your kids from this dangerous online challenge.
Parents, do you know what chroming is?
Chroming is an online trend. It's a challenge that involves intentionally inhaling chemicals or vapors to become intoxicated. And it's dangerous. A 13-year-old in Australia died after taking part in a chroming challenge to sniff an aerosol deodorant. Teens also report inhaling fumes from nail polish remover, markers, spray paint bottles, air fresheners, and even gasoline. Inhaling these chemicals can cause long-term brain issues, heart attacks, seizures, coma, choking, suffocation, organ damage, or even death. Experts say talk to your kids about chroming. Be open and non-judgmental, but educate them about the dangers involved. Set clear rules about risky behaviors like chroming, and make sure your teen knows the consequences if they're caught experimenting. If you think your child needs support, consider having them speak to a licensed therapist or substance abuse counselor. With ways to protect your teen from this dangerous trend, I'm Alexa Lorenzo reporting.
646.
Let's go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Howdy. Well, things are pretty good over here, guys, as we take a look outside. 10 at ProBan and 35 at Space Center. Traffic's been moving, and thankfully, we're off to a pretty quiet start. We did at least have one crash that was reported along Loop 1604. That's already gone, and you can see now traffic's picking up, especially there at 90 at 35. You're going to see a lot of that congestion build as usual, and another crash may have popped up off of 410 in Leon Valley. We'll take a closer look, but it doesn't appear to be impacting the main lanes. Just hope everyone is okay. Taking a look, as a quick reminder, 90, we will see some concrete work begin around 9 this morning, and it should finish at 3 in the afternoon. But we still have to get through today and tomorrow, and that's when we're going to see that single eastbound main lane closure from West Military Drive to General McMullen. So that could slow you down. And I'm taking a look at some of these TransGuide cameras. I want to bring it back over here where you can see things are slowing down a bit at 410 at Ingram North. Looks like there may be a stalled vehicle out there, but just make sure to keep your tires properly inflated, as that overhead sign does say. With the shift in the weather, I'm sure, Mark, you mentioned this last week. A lot of people probably heading to get their tires checked.
Oh, the lines were insane. Yeah. Like on Monday, I think it was.
Oh, that was when it was really cold.
Yeah. I just went home. It took a while to get all my tires inflated, but done.
I had that issue yesterday where the little alert popped up and said one of your tires is low. So we're not going to have to, now this morning obviously cool, but we're not going to have to deal with that anytime soon again with the really, really cold stuff, because the trend is going to be for temperatures to go up. Beautiful shot of the waning gibbous moon. Thank you very much for that one, Oscar. All right, normal temperatures, what to expect for the month of November. Started off yesterday, normal, average high 77, low 55. Today, it's 76 and 54. And then by the end of the month, on average, we lose 10 degrees on each end of the scale, 8 to 10 degrees approximately going back to yesterday. So about 2.5 degrees per week is what the average temperatures are going to be dropping down. All right, let's look at the Climate Prediction Center going into next week. And well, on the dry side around here and on the warm side. Now, this is the odds of being above normal temperatures. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to be 80s or anything like that, just the odds of being on the above normal side. And by next week, it'll be leaning toward the lower 70s as far as the normal high temperatures. Going into next weekend then and the start of the week after that, perhaps a couple of showers around here. There is a bit of a front that's going to try to move through here, but it's not going to be any great shakes as far as temperatures. So it's still leaning slightly, wanting to lean toward the warmer side of things. Here's the reason for all of that is the upper level steering wind. So of course we had the huge massive cold air that pushed down in here. Now things are starting to flatten out just a little bit as we go into the rest of the week and then go into the weekend. And so what that means is when the jet stream, sort of the dividing line between the cold air up to the north and the warm air, pushes up there to the north, that allows this warmer air to move on in here. So that's why temperatures are going to be going up. We are going to get more humidity around here. That's going to be the case going in through the majority of next week. And it's really not looking like even long range that we're going to be seeing anything substantial as far as another front to rival the one that just moved on through. We do have a couple of clouds hanging out here this morning, and so that's why temperatures are going to be pretty steady throughout the rest of the morning. And then we'll see more sunshine later on today, 60 at noon, top off at 67. So again, 9 degrees below normal today. Then we go into the next few days. Tomorrow, closer to those normal temperatures. Make it up to 74, starting off at 52 degrees. And then on Saturday at a little bit above what you would expect this time of year. Then here come the 80s. Now, don't forget, turn your clocks back 1 hour before you go to bed on Saturday, and we get into the 80s, and notice especially the low temperatures are going to be in the mid and upper 60s, and that's always a good indication that you get more humidity coming on in here. So highs are going to be mid 80s, 10 degrees above normal approximately, and you'll feel every bit of that.
Have you started seeing the Christmas ads on TV?
Oh yeah,
a few.
Yeah, and everything. You know, it's funny. Last week late, I was looking for something Halloween. And there was like one little tiny section over here. Everything was all Christmas.
Christmas already.
Not surprised. 53 days, by the way. Right now, 6:50, 45 degrees. You're welcome.
Let's look out there with live cam. Yes, it's still cold out there. Just Mike said we're going to hit the 80s next week. So enjoy this 45 degrees. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It is 6:54. So now that Halloween has come and gone, chances are you have piles of candy that you're not going to eat. So what are you going to do with it? Well, right now on KSET.com, we have 5 alternatives to throwing it out. One of them may include coming by the KSET studios and giving it to us. Just kidding, but look for this article on our website.
All right, best story of the week. A pet pig named Kevin Bacon escaped his pen and was on the loose for 18 days up in Pennsylvania. The surrounding community rallied together to try to catch him, but he outsmarted everyone every step of the way. During the weeks he was missing, even actor Kevin Bacon called for his safe return. Well, here's the best part. They finally got him after feeding him a sticky bun laced with Pet Safe Benadryl.
Got him with the sticky bun. Aw.
Poor Kevin.
I know.
Bacon, Mr. Bacon.
Mr. Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Time now, 6:55. Let's check back with Steven.
Is it weird that I got a little hungry?
Sticky bun.
Sticky buns, right?
Or the sticky buns. That sounded really good, actually. Guys, traffic is looking great behind me. Not a lot to show you, just traffic is picking up there just a bit. If you are at home and enjoying a sticky bun, enjoy it with your cup of coffee. No need to rush out the door. We're seeing traffic just move along A-OK, but getting a little congested here and there, Mike.
Got a couple of clouds hanging. By the way, the candy story, and I have not read our article, but there are organizations that will take the candy and send it over to the troops overseas, too.
Oh, cool.
Which have with your extra candy if you have it. We have temperatures right now, 45, 30s in the hill country, so no freezes like yesterday, maybe in some of the low-lying areas, but still it's cold out there, 67 later on today. Nice day, still nice tomorrow. Then we start to transition, and we get back into the 80s next week, mid 80s, and plenty of humidity around here, so it's going to feel more like summer next week. And of course, set your clocks back this Saturday.
That's right. Hey, once again, congratulations to the Texas Rangers on their World Series win.
That's awesome.
And it is game day for our Spurs.
Yes, it is. 9 o'clock.
9
It's a late
tonight.
one.
Back in Phoenix.
We will watch.
Yep.
Have a good day, guys.